So we covered Field Analyzer. If we think about looking at our maps and analyzing the view and what our maps look like, or in yield and seeding an application. Now, there's a lot of times where we only need to look at the metrics and understand on a field by field standpoint of a reporting from that view. So we're going to do that in Work Analyzer. So when we come up to Analyze and go down to Work Analyzer at the bottom, this is where we can see everything really for the whole farm for that operation. So when we get in here at the top left, we're going to have our different options to choose from between application, seeding, harvest, and tillage. So everything we do is going to fall under one of those four categories. So if we wanted to look at seeding from whatever crop season and whatever crop type, we can have all of those data layers reported out and showing right here. So if I wanted to see back in 2022, what did our corn seeding look like? So we had all of these field of corn. These were our total acres, our average rates, average ground speed, what machine, what varieties, all of that information in one view. So a lot of times this is helpful to understand, like I say, what our operation for the whole farm looked like. So from here, if I wanted to print this view off, I can go to Share and Export on the right and download that report and then print this summary off. From here, if we wanted to narrow it down and do any sorting from a variety level, if I wanted to know where I planted ABC variety on all my acres for that year, we can sort it down and only see those varieties for those fields. Same thing too, if I get to a harvest scenario and I want to see harvest for 24 based off of the crop type and print that report off, I can. But then additionally with harvest too, if I want to be able to print the field maps off, without having to go field by field, we can do that from right here also. So if I wanted my corn and soybeans for 2024, and I want to print off all those map layers, we can go to Share and Export, Download Report. And we have a few different options right here. So if we want to see it in the summary like we're looking at it, we can do the PDF summary, very simple. We can do a detailed PDF where this is going to be field by field, broken down by variety. If I wanted to pull the information into Excel to do any other analysis, maybe some customized reporting, anything like that, we can do that, pulling it into Excel. But when we scroll down, we have the field report at the bottom. So if I select my PDF, this is going to be our file name, but then what data layer do we want to look at exporting? So if I want my yield map, if I wanted varieties, wet weight, whatever map. I mean, obviously with corn harvest and soybean harvest, yield would be the priority one. So that's what we're going to look at exporting. So if I go ahead and download this report, it's going to tell us it's a larger file. We can actually go to our files page and find this report. So when we go to files, it's going to take a few minutes depending on the size of it. But when we come into reports, it will show as that field harvest report. We can select it, download it, and it'll populate as a PDF. So from that standpoint, print it off, email it, save it to you, whatever file you need, your options from there. So if we come back into Work Analyzer, there's also a few other things we can do from maybe some bulk editing. So we saw in Field Analyzer where we could go in and do post-calibration for yield off that one map. It is a little easier in Work Analyzer. So if I had a big list of all of my fields and wet weights, I can come in and we can post-calibrate all of those wet weights from right here. So for this Levitt's quarter on our corn harvest, if I know my total wet weight off of my scales, out from the elevator, whichever, we can post-calibrate that number and then just go on through the rest of my fields. Once that's done, we review the edits, we apply it, and all of those fields have then been post-calibrated. So much easier than going on a field by field basis.